Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Nate's Pink Bookshelf. My name is Nate Denise. For those of you who are new to the channel or who just happen to stumble across this video, and today's video, as the title says below, is going to be my double unboxing for Book of the Month as well as Book of the Month YA. So for those of you who don't know what Book of the Month or Book of the Month YA is, Book of the Month is basically a book subscription box in where you can get a book for $14.99 or $15, and you can add up to 2 additional books for $9.99 each. So you can get 1 book for $15, 2 for $25, or you can get 3 books for $35, which is great. There's always a lot of different things that they're running, so you can get your first box for like $5 or $10. I have both my referral link down below for Book of the Month and my affiliate link for Book of the Month YA. Now, Book of the Month is a book box that basically has books ranging from historical to romance, contemporaries, a little bit of fantasy, some sci-fi, and nonfiction. Book of the Month YA is geared towards those YA reads because originally Book of the Month didn't have that many YA books or that many fantasy books. So now you have Book of the Month YA. I've heard that they had another subscription for like nonfiction. I'm not sure how true that is. I've heard many people talk about it, but I haven't found anything about it yet. So there's that if you're interested in nonfiction. But for this month, I did 1 pick for Book of the Month, only because I had to pick a book this month in order to get my Bookmoji pins that they forgot to send me in my December box, and there was only one I was interested in. And then I picked 2 books from the Book of the Month pick for January to come in my Book of the Month YA, so I only have 2 books in that box. So if you guys see right here, this whole like shelf is Book of the Month YA. I love Book of the Month. It's amazing. 38 books on my shelf. I have read 3. If you include the one I recently read, I've read 4. And of the 4, I've loved 2 and okayed the other 2. So I have, you know, a love for Book of the Month. But I do have to start reading a lot more of them. But including the 3 I bought now, I now own 41. And I have to figure out where on my shelf these are going to go. Problems. But we're going to get into this unboxing. So starting off with Book of the Month. So here is Book of the Month. Comes in a blue box with white writing. Pretty standard, nothing special. And inside we have my Book of the Month Bookmoji pins. I don't know why it's like folded like that, but Book of the Month Bookmoji pins are so stinking cute. I love them so much. And we have that. I really just love this dead face because I feel like that sometimes when I'm reading a good book, I'm like, I'm dead. Okay, dead. But we have these. They're so cute. And this is how the inside of the box looks for Book of the Month. So it says you've got great taste, Book of the Month, and then you get your book wrapped up. And I love that Book of the Month wraps your books up. They put, I don't want to say saran wrap, but it's like saran wrap, but it's not saran wrap. They put this on your book, so your books stay covered up. Even if it rains, if it snows, especially since we're in the winter months here on the East Coast in the U.S., you know, the weather can be bad. They leave your boxes outside when it's raining. They could put your boxes in the snow. Your boxes get wet, then your books get wet. But your books will be protected, which I love. So we're going to cut mine open and rip it off. I also love that they always include this cardboard box with your books to keep them in their shape. Phenomenal, okay? Phenomenal. And this just says share the love. Get a free book for every friend that signs up through your referral link. And there we go. So for this month, you have a bookmark. This is the good part. And it just says Book of the Month on the back. Blue and white. Great. This also goes through the Book of the Year. So they have Book of the Year every year. And this is the members have spoken. So The Silent Patient, The Woman Is No Man, Daisy Jones and the Six, This Tender Land, and Recursion were all finalists. But the winner was Daisy Jones and the Six. And I do own that book from Book of the Month, which is great. But the book that I went with, which I don't know much about, I just know that it's historical fantasy. Anything with fantasy, I was like, why not? Is Things in Jars by Jess. And I did watch one video, and I will link it here. You can click that video out, where the guy was talking about this book, and he said it was interesting. It does deal with mermaids, but I think it's a little bit more dark and twisty or something like that. I don't know, but this cover is cute. I love the little mermaid fishtail, and then on the back you see the rest of the mermaid. gorgeous. But what makes Book of the Month very different from most book subscriptions is, like I said, they specifically print their books out themselves in their covers. So it has the Book of the Month logo on the corner here. Normally they have it on the spine like it does with the rest of these, but this one does not have it on the spine, which is interesting. And on the back, you have the Book of the Month heart with the month and the year. And without the dust jackets, it's always a two-tone cover. So this one is blue and sort of this brown beige color with Book of the Month as well as the month and the year. And again, normally on the spines they put the logo, but on this one they don't, so that's interesting. I don't know what this book is about, like, at all. I know that this is gorgeous. This cover is like everything. But I'm going to quickly read what it says on the inside flap. So it says, Victorian London comes to life in this spellbinding mystery as an intrepid female sleuth wades through a murky world of collectors and criminals to recover a remarkable child. Bridie Devine, flame-haired, pipe-smoking detective extraordinaire, is confronted with her most baffling puzzle yet. The kidnapping of Christabel Berwick, the secret daughter of Sir Edmund Athelstan Berwick. A peculiar child with reputed powers have captured the unwanted attention of collectors in this age of discovery. Winding her way through the city streets of Victorian London, Bridie won't rest until she finds the young girl, even if it means unearthing secrets about her own past that she'd rather keep buried. Luckily, her search is aided by an enchanting cast of characters, including a 7-foot-tall housemaid, a melancholic tattoo-covered ghost, and an apothecary. But secrets abound in this foggy underworld where nothing is quite what it seems. Blending darkness and light, Things and Jars is a mesmerizing novel that collapses the boundary between fact and fairy tale to stunning effect and explores what it means to be human in an inhumane times. So that is pretty cute. And this retails for $27 US. I'm excited to check this out. It takes place in 1843, so the 1800s. Which I find is not very, it's pretty much not my favorite kind of time period. I prefer the 1900s, but we'll give this a go. This was my pick for Book of the Month, okay? Moving on to Book of the Month YA. So, Book of the Month YA comes in this pretty pink box with all of these doodles, and I love them. They're so cute, but I love that. And one thing a lot of us have been saying for Book of the Month YA is that they would start, taking their marketing further, because normally with Book of the Month YA, they would send regular Book of the Month blue bookmarks. But if you have a YA subscription box, you should have a YA bookmark, or at least make it pink. And I noticed that they did for this month, which I think is a great start to the year. And so when you open your box, it just says read. Oh, can you see this? It says read your heart out, Book of the Month YA, and then your books are inside wrapped again. So, you know, same kind of thing. I love that they keep your books wrapped up, especially around this time of the year with the snow. So we are going to cut open. Oh, I don't have to cut it. It's already a hole. So taking it all apart. All right. So again, you get that cardboard pink this time. Of course, Book of the Month is going to be blue. YA is going to be pink. I think that's great. And this time around, they have pink Book of the Month YA bookmarks. I'm gonna love this. I normally laminate my bookmarks from Book of the Month YA and use them, so I have a pink one out. Like, the girl in me is happy. Okay, alright. So, I'm gonna start off with my actual pick for the month. Slight problems, but that's okay. So, I'm gonna start off with my actual pick. Both of these were actual picks for Book of the Month YA. They had 5 total. And I'm going to share with you guys the other ones that they had. Okay, so the first book I have for you guys is going to be a romance, and it's called Throw Like a Girl, and it's by Sarah Henning. That is going to be contemporary romance. The second one is going to be a sci-fi, and it is called Oasis by Kataya de Bercia. Sarah, I don't know if I'm saying that right, so it'll be on the screen. You can see the image, sorry. And then the third one is contemporary fiction. It's called Not So Pure by Lamar Gills. So those were the 3 books that I saw but wasn't really interested in. The other 2 I saw were, of course, fantasy novels, okay? So I wanted the second one to be my Book of the Month, but then I ended up getting the actual book. So, yeah, and it was crazy how it happened. I'll talk about it when I get to the book. So my actual book of the month pick for book of the month YA is called Ashlords by Scott Reintgen. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Sorry, so I'm gonna say Scott R. And it says ride or die. First of all, you got a horse on the cover. You got a horse that's on fire. I'm here for it, okay? This cover is so, like, it's different for me. It's really different. I really like this. So, all I know is that it's fantasy, which is why I picked it. Fantasy, YA, horse with fire on the cover. You sold me on it. But I actually read it, and I thought it was actually pretty interesting. So, it says, champions are not born, they're made. I cannot pronounce this woman's name. Imelda, I think that's how you say that. Imelda. It's on the screen. She is a Davidian, too poor to afford the cost of entry until her alchemy videos create a media storm that throws her headfirst into the competition as a fan favorite. Pipa is an Ashlord, the ruling class and the expected winner, but when she falls for a competitor, will she ruin her chances of inheriting the crown? And then you have Adrian, who is a longhand known for their vast wealth and failed rebellions. He is a symbol of revolution and the last chance for his people to rise against the Ashlords. So this book on the website, when you go on Book of the Month, they give you some quick information. So they tell you the genre, the author, the book title. So they give you quick takes. And for this, it says, the violent dystopia of the Hunger Games with fiery phoenix horse races leading to a revolution. Hold on tight. Then they give you the good to know portion. So they give you 4 fun things that you need to know before picking this book. So 1, that it's a fast read. 2, that it's action-packed. 3, that there are multiple viewpoints, which I'm assuming are the 3 POVs that I just mentioned. And then that it's the first in a series. So that's awesome. And on the inside flap, it says, ever since the Ashlords were gifted phoenix horses by their gods, they raced them into battle on hunts and now at the world-renowned races. Elite riders from clashing cultures vie to be crowned champion by honing their ability to create and control phoenix horses made of ash and alchemy, which are summoned back to life each sunrise and burst into flames each sunset. But good alchemy only matters if a rider knows how to survive the brutal nights. While murder is outlawed, breaking bones and poisoning ashes are legal, even encouraged. 11 riders will compete in this year's races, but 3 of them have more to lose than the rest. A daughter of 2 former champions, a scholarship entrant, and the son of a revolutionary. Which one will attain their dream of glory and win power for their people, or will they all flame out in defeat? That just sounds epic to me. I have not read the books the Hunger Games trilogy, like, at all. I haven't read them. I've seen all the movies. Love the movies. Never read the books. Got the books on my bookshelf. Still TBR. Yeah. But this sounds epic. I'm here for alchemy. I love alchemy so much, like so much. And it sounds epic. So for this, you have the Book of the Month logo on the front. It is yellow on the spine and on the back. And as I was comparing earlier with the other book, or saying rather, with Things in Jars for my Book of the Month pick, there's no logo on the side, whereas this one has it. Okay, and then the dual color for this, for the hardcover, is going to be mustard yellow with navy blue and gold foiling. And then you do have the Book of the Month logo on the spine again. So I'm actually super excited for this book. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick this one up next, because I did just finish a Book of the Month book, which I loved. But this is fantasy. It's epic. Sold me. Okay, sold me. So moving on to my second pick, also fantasy. And this is, again, another book that this was purchased on accident. And what I mean by that is I was already signed up for a blog tour review to do on this book before it came out. But they said that they had already sent out books. I didn't know that they did, because they didn't send the email until after I put my Book of the Month order in. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have 2 copies of this book, which is perfectly fine, because I actually do love the book. I enjoyed it. So that's going to be Woven in Moonlight, Seize the Night by Isabelle Ibañez. I'm always saying her last name wrong. I apologize, okay? But this is YA fantasy, and it is so good. It is steeped in Bolivian, I think that's how you say that, Bolivian culture, and there is Spanish involved in this book. I believe it is Own Voices, if I'm not mistaken, because the actual author, Isabelle, is Bolivian, so that's Own Voices, right? Yes. Pay me no mind. This was so good, okay? Let me just say that. I read it, and let me show you guys the actual copy of the book. So this is the actual like copy of the book. It comes with foiling on it, silver foiling, which is great. Book of the month obviously does not do foiling as of yet. Hopefully they, you know, try foiling soon. But we have it, and I don't care if I have a second copy because this book was actually really good. But book of the month logo here is an orange on the spine, on the back. Dual color. This is going to be black with looks like a vermilion kind of color. It looks red, but it probably isn't red. It's probably like a reddish orange with gold foiling. And then the book of the month logo is on the spine. I am going to read the synopsis to you guys because I can't do it justice. I will say I thoroughly enjoy this, and my wrap up will be coming. If you do want to see my written review, it'll be linked down below. But on the inside flap, it says, a lush tapestry of magic, romance, and revolution, drawing inspiration from Bolivian politics and history. Ximena is a decoy condessa, a stand-in for the last remaining Illustrian royal. Her people lost everything when the usurper, Atok, used an ancient relic to summon ghosts and drive the Illustrians from La Ciudad. Now Ximena is motivated by her insatiable thirst for revenge and her rare ability to spin thread from Moonlight. When Atok demands the real Condessa's hand in marriage, it's Ximena's duty to go in her stead. She relishes the chance as the Illustrian spies have reported that Atok's no longer carrying his deadly relic. If Ximena can find it, she can return the true aristocrat, is what it says, but it says it in Spanish. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it. But the true aristocrat to their rightful place. She hunts for the relic, using her weaving ability to hide messages and tapestries for the resistance. But when a masked vigilante, a warm-hearted princessa, and a thoughtful healer challenge Ximena, her mission becomes more complicated. There could be a way to overthrow the usurper without starting another war, but only if Ximena turns her back on revenge and her condessa. This was phenomenal. Again, like I said, I love the Spanish. I enjoyed it. This does include a glossary of some of the few words. More so, it talks about the different foods that they describe and speak of in here, but it is so good. In a gist, Woven in Moonlight is basically it's a world steeped in, like I said, Bolivian history and politics, but there's fantasy aspects. But I love that the magic system is more so dependent on the moon. They get their gifts from the moon, which I thought was awesome. And Ximena's ability is to weave moonlight, but the moonlight also turns into moon dust that she can also use as a sort of magic tool, and it's just phenomenal. Her condessa, I loved her at first, but she irritated me towards the end. The masked vigilante, we're here for. They called him El Lobo. He kind of gave me Zorro vibes, honestly. Like, this reminded me of Zorro just a little bit now that I'm thinking about it. Not just El Lobo, but the story in general. Kind of just a little bit, but with a lot more magic seeped into it. And, of course, a younger crowd. Atok was a big douchebag. I can't stand Atok. Like, so... This was good. There's a guy named Rumi. Then you have, I think his name was Juan. Oh my god, he was so amazing. This book was everything, okay? It was everything. But now I have a second copy because I have the original copy with the book of the month. But those were my picks for the month of January. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to go for February, honestly. Don't know. I don't know. Well, definitely with Book of the Month YA, I'm always picking a book of the month for YA. Book of the Month itself, I'm not sure. Normally, if I pick a book of the month, I normally get one, book from those picks for the month, and then I add on 2 additional YA novels. There are still some YA novels that I want. I still want to get, Enchante, and there is, there's another book that I want. Can't think of it right now, but there's another book that I want. From, it's The Astonishing Color of After, I think it is, and there is another contemporary that I want. But again, The Sun is Also a Star. Those are 3 of the books that I can't remember. There's a 4th one, but I can't remember it, but it has to do with Vikings. That book. But I'm content with the books that I have for this month. I have to also be mindful that my bookshelves are ridiculous. And I have to be mindful that we'll be moving soon. My family and I will be moving. So I gotta figure out how to pack all this. And I'm gonna pack them in boxes. But I have to keep that in mind that I'm going to have several boxes of books. Ridiculous. But these are my picks. So for Book of the Month, adult, we have Things in Jars by Jess Kidd, which is going to be adult historical fantasy, which I'm here for. Ghost, mermaids, magic. We're here for it, okay? So we have that. Following that, I have Ashlords by Reintgen. Scott R. That guy. He wrote, I think, Nixia is the book he wrote. But we have this. It is fantasy that is compared to the Hunger Games, but it also includes Phoenix horses. So we're here for it. Yes, love it. Got that. Last one we have is Woven in Moonlight by Isabelle Ibañez. I don't know how to say it, but it is fantasy steeped in Bolivian politics and history, and it's amazing. And I love the magic system in it. It's so cute, and the romance was everything to me. I love this. And what I forgot to mention, but what I love the most is that the romance in this was not heavy. It literally wasn't until the last few chapters that you got the romance. You could feel the tension throughout the book, but the romance was not the main focal point, and I loved it so much. And it is a standalone. I wish it wasn't a standalone. I wish it was a series or like a duology, because I need more. But it's okay. So we have that. So my 3 picks, I am excited for these. I have high hopes for the YA novels. I have medium hopes for Things in Jars. But that is my unboxing for Book of the Month and Book of the Month YA for December. What did you guys get? If you guys purchased from Book of the Month or Book of the Month YA, let me know. Write down your picks, or if your videos, put them down below. Again, if you're interested in Book of the Month, my referral link is down below. Basically, if you sign up with my referral link, I believe you get a credit, and then I also get a credit. And my affiliate link is down below for Book of the Month YA. I don't get paid with that affiliate link. All I do is get a credit for a book. That's pretty much how both those links work. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think $15 is great. You're literally just getting a book, whether it be a debut novel, early release, which they do a lot of early release books, which I think is great. They always try to include an early release book and a debut novel from a new author. And then they have some repeat authors and some backlist novels that they will come back out with. So that is great. I know last month for Book of the Month YA, they had Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, which I would have got if I didn't purchase it myself. So just saying, they be having some good books for Book of the Month YA if you're into like fantasy and contemporary romances. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys for liking. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you are subscribed, click the bell to stay notified. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.